So the Retail Inspector programme has got two parts to it. It's got the website, so it's a members-only website which we've created, which actually gives us leads and some further information that we can then use to sell up to the main sort of process, which is the retail inspection. And that's really physical consultancy. So that's where the retail inspectors go out to the retailers, spend time with the retailers, and actually add a lot of value to the retailers. So it's about physically going into the store, looking around the store, and actually understanding what works, what doesn't work. And we have different tools that we use. The main one is the Retailing Skills Profile, which helps you understand the way that the retailer works at the moment, which of the 13 areas they're good at and which they're bad at. So there's a very, very sort of intelligent way of understanding what needs to be improved. So what the Retailing Skills Profile does, it's a fact. It's a questionnaire, yes, no, maybe, and what happens is that's put through the process, and from that we understand, is it marketing, is it training, is it merchandising, is it stock management, which areas don't work. So it's not about asking the retailer what they think or you saying what you think. This is fact based. So on top of an interview, on top of talking to the retailer, you've got a really strong understanding of which bits can be improved, and you can easily then work with the retailer to improve that. So you end up with this 26-page report which is bespoke for the retailer based on their answers. So just that report itself is worth a lot to that retailer. But as a retail inspector, you actually get the analysis and the understanding. So you'll know from your experience what needs to happen with that retailer. But this is black and white. It says the retailer answered the questions himself, herself, and this is what it says. So it is marketing, it is merchandising, it needs to be improved. So it's not about guesswork, it's not about just working on your experience, it's black and white. They answered the questions, so the answers are there. They've said that marketing, they've said that merchandising is what's needed to improve. And it's very hard for the retailer to say, I don't agree with, because they answered the questions themselves. They already said yes, no, maybe for the questions. So it's an amazingly powerful tool for any retail inspector to actually go with this document and say, okay, these are the areas we're going to work on first, this is what we'll look at in the future, and actually really help them. And it breaks down the barriers of, who are you to tell me? How do you know? I see 100 consultants. Why are you better? This actually gives you, as the retail inspector, the real, edge, the actual reason why, they should do business with us rather than AN Consulting. So what the steps are, we need to get the leads in the first place. So getting the leads in the first place can be as simple as your local high street, physically walking down to the local shops. It can be using your local accountants, your solicitors, or your banks. There's a lot of people that deal with retailers, especially banks and solicitors. They're always dealing, accountants should I say, they're always dealing with retailers, so they already know 100 retailers. So working with those, you can actually get the leads to say, okay, which retailers do you have? Can we go and talk to them about the Retailing Skills Profile, and then start to engage with these retailers. We've got a leaflet which just talks about the programme. We also have the Retailing Skills Profile, which we can show them and talk them through it. But most importantly, this is also backed by the Retail Handbook. So I've written the Retail Handbook, which is published and it's sort of out in the market at the moment. That takes any retailer through an 11-stage process of how to, in essence, retail. It's about the basics of retail. It's based on 20 years of experience. And it's put in a very simple way for the retailers to understand what to do. Any retailer that joins our program gets the book free, but also they can download it on Amazon and sort of read it. So going to see them with the leaflets, with the case studies and the brochure we also have, and the book gives you the credibility to say, this is what we do, these are the areas. Now can we talk about how we can help you as a specific retailer and your problems. So once we've sat down with them for the first initial sort of lead or phone call even, they understand there's a process, they understand what we do. It's then a case of getting them to look at the video, the introduction video, which talks about what we've done, and also there's some case studies, some real examples of where the retail inspectors have previously and currently have actually added a lot of value to the retailers. So we can get them to look at that. The most important thing then is really, for many of those, is to get them to actually physically meet And arrange a meeting. It's not just a popping in, having a coffee. It's a 15-20 minute meeting where we go through the process and actually explain in detail what we do. And it's not a consulting meeting, it's a sales meeting in terms of introducing the program, introducing yourself, and introducing all the backup and the website and the book, etc., so that the retailer can then go away and think about how it would work for them. And also you as a retail inspector will know within the first few minutes whether this retailer is going to be able to work with you and whether there's something you can add value to. Great. And if not, you can move on to another retailer. If somebody says they want to proceed, there's sort of three parts to it really. The first one, just joining the website. It's £17 to get access to everything on the website. That's more of a leads as well sort of process. The main two offers really are gold and silver. Gold is £200 a month, or £197 a month, and silver is £97 a month, and that's the whole consultancy. So the first thing we do is the retailing skills profile. So the retailer fills in the profile, you then get the retail inspector copy and their copy, and that's your first meeting started. From that you'll put together a 90-day action plan, and then you'll see them every 2 or 4 hours a month, depending on the level of service. That's also backed up by the website, online discussion forums, email messaging, lots of sharing of information and lots of best practice which is there. The minimum we work with them is for 12 months, so they'd have 4 action plans within that time, the 90-day action plans. They'd see the retail inspector once a month for 2 or 4 hours, and within that they'll do 1 or 2 retail skills profile, because hopefully after 6 months, if they were bad at marketing, within 6 months they're good at marketing, but then their people may not be good. So it's a balance. There's always something, these are normally people who are working on their own. They can't be good at all sort of 13 areas, so they need to look at which area is good and which area is bad, but which is going to add the most value, the most money to the bottom line, which is what we're trying to do for these guys. This is better than AN consulting, because this is backed by the book, which is out there, the credibility of myself and then the rest of the team. It just means that we're giving somebody the opportunity to go out and help these retailers and actually add a lot of money